so let's do our first book review. This is it. It's The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. And I have to say, this is one of the finest books I have ever read. Listened to on audio, obviously. And it's brilliant. Ben was, he was at Netscape with Mark Andreessen. And then they started LoudCloud after they left the takeover group that took over Netscape. And essentially it's a businessman's book about the experience of running a publicly listed company that wasn't pre-revenue. It had revenue, but it was pre-profit. And I think that really informs the title, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. Because when you're pre-profit and you're having to raise money and you're having to watch costs and drive the business hard, it's certainly not easy. Everything is hard. And in many ways, a couple of the important takeouts from the book are things like the difference between being a peacetime CEO and a wartime CEO. And of course, there was the dot-com bust in early 2000, which is when they were starting to get LoudCloud going. And it really talks about the issues that get thrown up in business. Anything from expanding your staff to having to cull your workforce, which is incredibly difficult, of course, because you need to keep the remaining workforce positive. How you deal with getting through difficult sales channels, trying to make big sales. But in many ways, the most important takeaway of the book really is the importance of communication internally in your organization and making sure that direct reports are speaking to their groups, and that things aren't being left out as a result. And there was one, I think, key part where Ben talks about how he had a meeting with a line manager and one of their people, and they hadn't had a meeting in a very long time. And he basically told them if they didn't have a meeting before the end of the day, and then the line manager with all of his people, then they would be sacked. So that was reasonably extreme, but then the reality is the organization's not going to work unless people talk. And I think what's interesting is that it's very useful having these sorts of books where there's a high level of honesty and a high level of disclosure and frankness and candor from the author about their experiences. It's not sugar-coated at all. And that really helps to convey the best amount of truth from their experiences. And of course, it's very helpful for us, the readers. So if you can, make sure you read this book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. It's brilliant.